Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here, Brian Galke, and we're Aces 53. I would think we've been doing this year and a half. It's long enough they can figure it out.
Exactly.
Attitude, commitment, enthusiasm, smile, joker, unique ability that you have or you learn. So Thursday I wasn't available. I apologize for that. Oh, by the way, next week, just so people know, I will tell again on Thursday, I'm not here next week.
That's fine.
I'm out of town that week because that is Labor Day week.
Oh, that's a good point. So
Yeah,
we
so
can just take that whole week off because I've got a gig later that week too.
yeah, so let's take that. We're taking next week off. Executive decision. Boom,
That's
boom.
right. Unanimously approved. I can't talk.
Did you say that one more time fast?
No, I'm afraid to.
Look, I got my little tagline down there.
I see. I need to do something like that.
Well, no, I'm just really focused on veterans, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about a bunch of other stuff, but really, if I'm going to tell other people to niche down, so much on it, I did a podcast and I was helping somebody and told them they needed to do some stuff, and then of course they did a LinkedIn post about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was good or positive, but you know.
Oh yeah, you were going to send that to me and I didn't see it. So
I never went back to it.
I got you.
It was just, you know,
he said,
no, he just said it was a unique situation where the host gave them advice. Well, it is called Helping the Brave.
Right.
It's not, I just talk and I'm brave.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
So I'm really focused on it, and I'm working on the Operation Firewalk for May 3rd of 2025. Already got the food lined up, got the venue, and working on 4 keynote speakers. 4 of them said yes. It's just a matter of which ones we want to have.
Yeah.
Trying to get the word out before
get closer here
before Veterans Day.
Very cool. Yeah, I was in your neck of the woods, meaning in California last week. Yeah, so that's when I recorded.
That's like saying
it's closer than Texas.
I'm in Dallas. I'm not in. I know you're in Dallas, but I'm in. I have no idea where far away from in Dallas would be, but I mean, I'm in Northern California. You were in Southern California,
right?
That's 6 hours.
So it's close by. I got you.
Yeah, it was just.
Is this too much of a glare over here?
Oh, you should put some powder on next time. But
yes, well, I wasn't prepared.
I finally shaved this week because I got tired of looking like an old prospector.
Did you have it? Were you growing it all out?
Yeah, it was all gray, and I'm like tired of it. Yeah,
I can't. I tried to grow my beard out. I was like, oh, I'll grow one of those cool 300 beards. Mine looks more like, can I borrow $3? It's not a good thing at all. But
yeah, I have enough gray hair on my head. I don't need more on my face.
Yeah, I didn't feel old until I saw my first gray hair here, and I was afraid to look lower. So,
all right, TMI. Let's move on. All right, so last week you were in Laguna? Is that where you were?
Laguna, yeah. So
was it Laguna Niguel? Was it just Laguna? What was
it? It was the Montauk Hotel. Oh, sorry, the Montage Hotel. I was told not to call it Montauk, the Montage Hotel. There in Laguna. So I don't know. Right downtown Laguna. That's all I know. And then I stayed in Dana Points because the venue was absolutely astounding. It was beautiful, beautiful place. But I was going as an attendee. They weren't paying for my room, and I wasn't going to pay $1,200 for my room. So my coffee was $9 to get a normal size like this everywhere. So
yeah, but that right there is probably $7.
Yeah, $5. Yeah. But I'll tell you, it was a beautiful location. It was right on the cliffs there. The resort, after the event ended, I went and sat in the lounge of the hotel, the Montage Hotel, and they have a piano guy and beautiful craft cocktails and just a stunning view out into the ocean. So if you get a chance even to just go have lunch, coffee, a cocktail there, it's definitely worth the pit stop. So anybody who's out there. But I do want to go back to
I want to go back to it real quick. I travel with an espresso. Why don't
do you really?
Yeah, so they sell little ones.
I haven't seen the little ones, but that's what I have at home. I have an espresso is what I
the big pods or the little pods?
Big pods.
Yeah, well, so do I, but we for the longest time we used the little ones. Then we were, fancy with the real huge machine, and I just got tired of it, and so we went with the pods. But you can get the smaller one that we have. It was like small enough for a travel size with the little portable frother, and I travel all the time with that. That way,
a good idea.
Because then even if you use the big pods, you can order a little thing of the little pods just for traveling.
Yeah,
and that's for me, that's so much cheaper than $9 for each coffee.
Yeah, It was I ended up flying straight from the airport, getting a rental car. My day traveling there was a disaster, but you're right. So I didn't think to get coffee before the hotel. You know, hotel's a little more expensive, but I wasn't expecting $9 for it. But anywho, you pay for the scenery, much like a lot of other places.
You're paying for Dana Point.
Exactly.
And the other place.
Yes. But here's what's interesting.
People who live there don't complain. People who travel there don't complain.
Well, and it's inspiring.
$1,200 a room, you don't complain about $9 coffees.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's inspiring. So there's places I go and I go, okay, what do these people do to afford that this is, nothing when they're there? Because the hotel was full because it was the last week before school goes in, and it was packed. The pool was packed. The restaurants were packed, you name it. So what do those people do? It's more inspiring than it is anything else. But an interesting point about it is I did do the live last Thursday, and the live was about, I almost canceled the event. So for those of us who know Greg, his son Colt was in a very horrible accident, and I didn't think Greg was going to go to the event. And then when I talked to one of the organizers, they said, no, Greg is still coming. And I hadn't bought my ticket until the day before because I had to reroute from Miami. It was doing a layover in Dallas, and then I was going to go to California. And I thought, I'm not going to go to this event. It doesn't feel right. And then they told me Greg was going. So I showed up. And it was good because I got to see Greg. That was my number one reason for going. Got to see Greg. That alone was worth the price of the hotel, airfare, all that good stuff. But what also happened was the keynote speaker backed out. And I don't know the reason behind it, but they came out that morning before I arrived and said, hey, this person isn't going to be able to make it there. And one of the organizers reached out to me. She's like, what do we do? So I gave her some advice on what to do. And then I ended up with 30 minutes of talking as well. So I went as an attendee to take notes and support other people. And then I got to share what I teach with others. And it may lead to a gig in the Bahamas to keynote a different event. So kind of what I talked about last week was it's easy to not do stuff. Sometimes the bigger challenge is to do things that you don't necessarily just feel wowed about. But you and I have talked about before, exposure is huge. Showing up can be a game changer without you planning for it to be. I just saw in one of the masterminds I'm in, we have a Slack channel, and a guy got his largest contract by shooting the shit with the guy at the gas station about his boat. And now he's got a contract for a 30-day contract to feed this guy's staff of 400 for 30 days straight. And it was all because of a random conversation. So, it would have been cheaper to stay at home. It would have been easier because I was in Miami already all week. So I got to Miami on Monday, was flying out on Wednesday night. I missed my connection in Dallas because the flight out of Miami was delayed an hour. I had to go home. They said, you live in Texas, so we won't give you a hotel room. I had all the reasons not to go, but I still went, and it worked out in the long run. So sharing that because it would have been easier to just stay home.
Yeah,
but it was better to have gone.
Yeah, well, I was thinking you should have went anyway, even if Greg wasn't going to show up, because then that's one less person speaking. Mm-hmm. You never know. And that's weird that one of the keynotes backed out.
Yeah. I don't know the situation. He was unable to make it. So, and then things like I got invited because I was a speaker to go to the speaker VIP dinner that night. Things that I didn't, when I just bought the regular ticket versus the dinner experience, lunch and dinner with the speakers. But when I became a speaker, I got elevated to that status. So it really worked out well. You can tell I was tired because after the event was over, I went upstairs, had one old fashioned, then I went to my hotel and went to bed. So, me, I'm usually go Galke. Once I get going, I keep going. But
you're traveling from, did you have to, when you stayed in Dallas overnight and you leave in the morning, or did you leave the same day?
I left the next morning, but the flight out of Miami was after I spoke at the event.
No, I know. But then when you landed in Dallas and you missed your connection, that was the next day you flew out instead of getting there the day earlier, right?
Correct. Okay. And so I had ended up going home, getting home at 11 to bed by midnight, and then back up at 4:30 to be back at the airport by 6. So a little sleep deprived, but
that's why they have planes.
I was gonna say I sleep on the plane. I get a window seat because I have no tensile neck strength, and on top of that, I just like to put my head up and just go to sleep.
So. And plus, you don't want to be bothered when someone has to get out to use the restroom constantly.
That's right. I want to be the botherer, not the botherer. Right. Exactly.
So, but we learned a long time ago, doors were open. You have to walk through them.
Exactly.
Your coaches, other people will help get you to the door. You have to walk through it. They open the door sometimes for you. Things come up. You have to walk through it and just do it. I had a
Absolutely.
lot of things happen because I went to a lot of events. Yes,
Mhm.
I cut back because of Rotary, and I'll start picking it up next year.
Yep.
I just don't, there's one, but I don't want to, I can watch the replay of it. It's the sales mastery kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And there's a bunch of mortgage ones, and I'm like, I don't want to go to the mortgage ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
My
ironically, just
focus
because.
is there's two focuses. My book, my second book, which is for veterans only, and then get all these different newsletters and other stuff I'm doing. So I'm focusing on that, and I can't do anything until I get those things done.
That's a good point. We need to bring on a joker who really talks about newsletters. I know we had Robin Alex who said that's what he saw. What in January of this year, he said that's what he saw as being popular in 2024 was newsletters. We need to find somebody who's doing that well and bring them on.
Well, I mean, the other issue is it's got to be something that people want to read because there's so many of them now, and it's like I ignore them because it's like, what are they going to tell me?
Yeah,
but sometimes some of the people we know, I get more out of their posts than I get off of a newsletter they send out.
That's going to be one of my personal goals. Is I'm almost completely moved over to Connect 360 with Joel's company. The new website's about to launch, and I've got to get on to putting up blogs and sending out emails. I did one this morning just because there's an event I'm speaking at Wednesday. It's a virtual event that people are always asking, where can they come see you speak at? And I'm like, well, this one's virtual, so let me send it out to my list. But I did list everything that right now is on the book. So I've got 5 events in September, 4 of which people can come to, and then one that I'm doing with Steve in November. Steve actually is who introduced me to people. So I've got to keep following up with just more than, hey, here's where I'm speaking, just more nuggets back to the audience.
Yeah, it's too bad you can't record your own talk.
Yeah, I don't know, it's crazy.
Get those little assets and drop them in a Cast Magic.
This weekend, Saturday, Opus Clips was down. I'm like, I don't know what to do because it wouldn't let me edit the videos that I had. So I'd get it and they would bring it in, but it was a black screen and it had all kinds of problems. Luckily, Sunday it started working because I'm like, I need to get some content ready because I'm in Michigan. I just landed in Michigan a couple of hours ago. And Rhonda, we had her on before. She's the chiropractor who also is a Book Yourself Solid coach. She has the social meetup. So I'm speaking at her event tomorrow here in Clarkston, Michigan. And, so I need to get social media queued up. But that's another relationship that came out of attending an event 2 years ago almost. So it was November of 2022 is where I met Rhonda at. And now I'm out here to speak at her event tomorrow. So you bring this up and you do a good job of it. You go to events with an agenda or with a goal. I used to just show up to learn from the speakers, and you're really the one who swayed me into, no, you need to be about the people in the room as well.
Yeah, because the speakers are there to speak, and people in the room are there to learn about what's going on, and most of them could be on the stage.
So. Yes, or they're growing and they need people like you, depending on what service you do or what product you have, or you name it. A lot of times the people that are up there, they're there to perform a function and share knowledge. They're not there to look for relationships. They're happy to bump into them. But right. The people in the audience came to grow personally, professionally, you name it, their business. And so obviously when I went to network, I showed up late and I met a few people, but I didn't get that many people who paid attention to me till I was up on stage. Then the people come back over later. They're like, who are you? Because you're not on the flyer. And it gave me opportunities to speak.
Yeah, I was the fill-in person.
Yeah, I was the secret guest. Yeah. I was, I was the
bonus. The surprise.
Yeah. So, but it was a great event.
I'm glad it worked out for you. What was the name of that event?
It was called Igniting. Now you're going to get me on it. Dang it.
That's okay.
It was Igniting is the first part of it, but I'm blanking out on the name.
You can tell me later. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
They're tagging me in it right now, like on social media. You'll see me in some of the videos. So it's Marlene and Dr. Romina who put it together. Dr. Romina is a functional medicine doctor that is also an ER doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And then Marlena is there. She's done real estate. She's a 10X ambassador. So, she can do Grant Cardone's programs and things like that. So
you had her on the show before.
Dr. Romina? Yes.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
she invited my wife to that event. So
Oh, she did. Okay, very cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the main reason I went originally. And then I found out Greg was speaking, and then I was talking with Marlene as well. And they originally said, "Hey, can you speak for a few minutes?" But that's when I was in Italy, and I'm like, "No, no, no." But then I wanted to go and support it, so I bought a ticket just like everybody else. But it ended up better than expected in the long run.
They should refund you the ticket for the speaking.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be a long-term payout.
That's right.
But now you're making me curious. I can't think of what it was called, so I'm gonna go look. Um, it was igniting. I took a picture of it all. Let me see.
So have you finished your book yet?
No, that's one of the things I've got to work.
You
That
keep
was,
saying that. It's been 2 years now.
I know, and that's exactly what ignitinghumanity.com
Oh.
was the website. So, uh, that's the thing that I keep coming back to is when I get done, people are like, "Hey," and they see the book I learned from, and it's a great book, but it's like an encyclopedia, and it's too much information. It's great if you want to look up one fact, but it's not a learning material book. And I've got 9 of the chapters done. I've got to finish it. So
I
that
mean,
was
as much as you've done talking on stages and everything, you can take those things and turn those into chapters. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time. Then you have the second edition, third edition, fourth edition on a.
That's with those, that's this thing that weighs on me because here I have 5 events coming up, and the question always comes up: do you have a book? And I don't have it done, so I need to also get a
How's
funnel
your
built.
courses coming?
Courses are up, so that's that's part of the new website that's going to drop here soon. I think
do you have one? Do you have just one page for sales training?
No, right now it just says coaching. But yeah, I know.
I'm going to tell you this, and you can tell me to shut up because we don't talk other than this usually. I mean, we because we're so on our stuff. You really need to focus. I know you do a lot talking with people how to get connected because it's good for everybody.
Right.
But you really need to hone in to find your perfect client and who that is, and then do that website for them, and then also have a speaking page.
It's funny you say that. A lot of the invite for speakers pages that I've seen recently, they're like, "What website do you want us to look at?" And I've been doing the speaker page, obviously. But to your point, if it's a corporation looking for sales skills, I want a landing page for that I think is going to be not visible on the main title bar.
Right. You just have it say, Brian Galke, whatever, subtle skills / sales training.
Yeah.
Because people, that's how they search for sales coaches and sales, whatever, sales training. Right. A lot of people have sales.
Yes.
But they won't have sales training.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on.
Because a lady who we had on a while back, she was like, just add this. Look at the difference. It was night and day difference how many people were looking for sales training.
Oh, I didn't watch that. Remember, I wasn't on that episode. So I need to go back and watch it.
You don't need to go watch it. You just need to do what I said. Tell your people to make a page that says sales training at the top. So when that'll come up in Google.
So do I need to have it across
instead of a page? No.
Okay. Just have a page like a hidden.
Yeah, talk to them about how to do that. That you were told by someone that SEO is coming up, sales training, and you need to have that on there.
Yeah, I need to do that, and then they're going to help me a lot with the SEO and everything for the speaker page. I'll have to resend you. They've done a lot of improvements since I sent you that first round. We've been working on it. They've been super responsive on getting things done, making it look better, adding in the coaching page, you name it. And I'll just go through it at night, be like, "Hey, I don't like this. They're like, "Okay, no problem," and then they go and fix it.
So, I'm visioning like your first page, sales training, whatever training, and then corporate. You know what I mean? Then they can just click on each one, and then go right in. I'm just saying because that's your bread and butter.
Agreed. I think you and I have talked about this before. The thing I did on purpose was also the thing that is the biggest mistake I did, and that was I wanted to know, was this really something I wanted to do full time, or was this only fun because I hated my corporate job? And so for the first year, I only did speaking, and that was a mistake because I had people asking me about coaching courses.
Was it a mistake? Did you learn from it?
Oh, I learned from it. Yes,
it's not a mistake. Then it's what you learned.
Learning process.
Learning process to understand what you wanted to do. You needed to define what was your why. Why did you do that?
Exactly. Yes.
And that was the easiest way for somebody who is an introvert who hates talking and in a company like you were in that can't get that information out there to do what he did.
Yes. And I really wanted to know.
Now send me $2,000 for that coaching.
Exactly. I really did want to know, was it fun if I did it for a living? And the challenge was speaking, and just throwing it out there. I know there's people in our audience who want to be a speaker. Look, the first few years are tough to begin with, but what we've seen is in 2024, people are not selling the amount of tickets that they sold in 2023 and 2022. Every event I've been to, whether I bought a ticket or I've been a speaker, they have not sold numbers they have in previous years. And so you're going to see a lot more people are going to more of a mastermind, smaller venue that they can charge more, and more people show up than trying to book out big venues because they're just not filling them.
People have the money. People are hurting.
Right.
I mean, that's the biggest. People want to do more, but they don't have the money. Yep. There's people who have money who still have money, and they're going to have money, and it's just how it is. So,
yeah, you're right. And especially, going back to the California thing, I looked at that people, and did you ever listen to any Grant Cardone stuff?
No,
have you ever in the past?
I have, but nothing recently.
So he talks about, going where before he was rich, going to places where rich people hung out because he wanted to get used to it. That was kind of like what that resort was, the Montage Hotel. It was one of those, you could just tell the people were there. They were comfortable. Nobody was really on their laptops, and they were enjoying it all. And knowing the cheapest room was $1,200 a night, that was a cool spot. I just kind of went and soaked it all in. And like I said, I wanted an old fashioned. I knew my hotel wasn't going to have one. So,
well, I mean, that was Orange County, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's the difference. Exactly. Orange County is freaking expensive to live there.
Yeah.
So, but it's you have to have money to live in California.
Yes.
I mean, to buy a home right now, minimum home in our area is you got to make $125,000 minimally, and that's in a bad neighborhood.
Yeah. It's I feel bad for kids graduating college that don't have big paying jobs, because they're at the point of, look, you're going to be in an apartment or renter life for a while, maybe not forever, but it's going to be tougher than it was, a while ago.
I hear, just have joy and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Joy doesn't build equity. That's the challenge with joy, right?
I don't know. You haven't seen what you look like. Oh. All right. You look tired. Let's call it a day.
I am. Yeah, I gotta go to another. I gotta go to a dinner here tonight in a little bit. But yeah, just kind of recapping it.
Get out of your comfort zone. Say yes to everything, and walk through the damn doors.
Absolutely, and that's one of the interesting things. I'm reading a book. Two of the people I want to have on here. Here it's called "Convince Me." I really think we need to have them on as a future guest. But for the readers, Convince Me. It's a book written by a former FBI hostage negotiator, much like Chris Voss, and then a PR crisis consultant. And it's
how old is that book?
Huh?
How old is that book? It looks like something that came out of a library.
No, I
little plastic cover on it.
Yeah. Well, because they only have the hard copy right now. They've got the Audible. They've got the other one. Let's see. It says it was printed in 2024.
First time.
Yep. So they're interesting, but it goes through a lot. I just said, you need to have tension, because if you don't, then you become complacent and lazy. So we're in an interesting time. So we'll just put it that way.
It's very interesting because, and we need to change, because I'm tired of these times.
Yeah. And like, again, if I'd gone home, I never would have the opportunity. So let's say I don't get the gig that's in the Bahamas, which I'm going to, but let's say I didn't. I still made contacts I never would have made had I stayed at home.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And to your point, get out there. Don't just watch things on YouTube. You can get knowledge from YouTube, but you get relationships from being out in the public.
Right. And you're going to Steve's thing in New York, right?
Yeah. I'm going to, I almost said Secret Knock. Well, I am going to Secret Knock. But yes, I am going to the Speakeasy in New York as well. And for that same reason, it's a small group. Sometimes it's the same people, but there's always somebody new to meet at that event. And then they just curate good people. I wouldn't be here doing this podcast without you. And that's been one of the things that's helped me out tremendously, is getting out of my comfort zone with doing podcasts, is because you helped push me there. And I met you at a networking event, at a mastermind.
Yeah, so. I did a lot of video with you.
Yes, you did. Pictures, videos, all kinds of good stuff. You
Well, I'm
definitely
just,
enhanced my life.
you type in your stuff and my videos come up from it before,
Yeah. We'll have to do a whole episode about that. A year and a half ago, if you type my name, all that came up was my old job, government contracts. And, they say, hey, every other month, go type in your name. And it's weird to see what shows up now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So,
I mean, and I keep adding like featured on my website, like the podcast
yep.
I'm on every month. I add, it's on YouTube. I add it to one of the playlists. Automatically it goes to my website, which just makes it easier. Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that because I am behind the ball on LinkedIn and YouTube for sure. I don't think we've talked, but TikTok, something happened. I went from 4,000 to 37,000 last month. So something's hitting right. I don't know how long
you just keep doing what you're doing. So
yep, exactly. So
yeah. I mean, the first one that's going viral is what's doing it still, because that's mine. I keep getting people, even though I didn't do much for a month, which really hurt me. They're still liking that other one that went viral.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for everybody who hasn't watched other episodes, Ed brought this up first, but I coined the phrase afterwards. That is haters are helpers. I've been responding as soon as I get a hateful comment. I'm on that one like you would not believe, because I want to respond immediately. So you get credit from the algorithm for responding. And people love to watch and just grab their popcorn and see where it goes. And it helps you out in the long run.
Right. And then people also come to support you too.
Yes, 100%.
All right. We'll call it a day. Take us out.
Sure. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's Ed Parcaut and myself, and Ace is 53 on Tuesdays. Like today, it's just Ed and I. And then on Thursdays, we bring in sometimes some jokers. And what is a joker? It's somebody who has a special skill, knowledge, or talent that we believe you would benefit from. And the best way to support us is to subscribe and share it with your friends. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you. Make it a great day.